Hello everyone and welcome to a new video on my channel. I'm Adam and today this is Battle of the Beasts All Generation episode number 2. Yes, the tournament is finally underway and we're on the second battle. Now, unfortunately this battle is not as interesting in my opinion compared to the previous battle, but my kind of idea with how to get these not as good battles out of the way, I order them, especially round 1, I ordered the battles from what I see as most interesting battle. Well, I put them in groups. Interesting, not interesting, great. So I put a great one as the first episode, that is Carnivora vs Amictus. And then I start off with the not interesting ones, sprinkle a good one in the middle, and then just finish with the interesting ones and the fan-related ones and the great battles. So, yeah, that is why I got a not very good battle today. But in the future, we do have a rather interesting battle coming up very soon. I think it'll be episode 10 or 12. So, not that long, but still a fair amount of time. So with that, let's get into this. With our competitors, representing Series 11... The New Age, book number 1, Elko, Lord of the Sea. And representing Series 16, The Siege of Gwildor, book number 2, Ronak, the Toxic Terror. So both of these beasts here, I'm not a really big fan of because, well, one is from a series which I blatantly do not like, and the other is from a series which is a big rip-off of Series 1. So, both of these are from unpopular seasons to me, and both of them are unpopular beasts to not just me, but most of the community. So, yeah. So, this is Elko versus Ronak. This, in my opinion, is the most boring fight, because, 1, I actually have no idea how I'm going to do this fight, and 2, whilst the winner isn't as obvious as others will be this round, it's just battles of two beasts. It's a battle of two beasts which I blatantly do not like. And it feels like a chore for me just to actually do this video. Just to say, oh, this beast is going to win. That is why round 1 normally has the shorter battles, because most of the time it has a battle between two beasts I don't really care for. But with that, let's get to the stats.
Elko, Lord of the Sea. Elko's mouth is lined with deadly fangs, and his hideous limbs can regenerate when severed by a blade. Elko was created by Kensa to wreak havoc on the kingdom of Henkral. Now, onto his awesome abilities. Regeneration, deform/reform that can turn into seaweeds and back, can control fish from Henkral, breathing in and out of water, sharp fangs, tentacles, and illumination make him a very deadly opponent in the tournament.
Ronak, the Toxic Terror. The wicked witch Kensa not only cursed an innocent ram to become a beast who rampaged through Gwildor, but also poisoned his hooves so that every step he takes destroys soil and vegetation. Now, onto the rest of his awesome stats. Let's take a look what we got. Sharp hoof claws tipped with toxins, ram speed, thick skull, ramming attacks, and sharp horns make Ronak a deadly opponent in the tournament.
3, 2, 1!
Elko, Lord of the Sea versus Ronak, the Toxic Terror. Let's get into this. It's not necessarily a good batch of abilities. Unfortunately, both of these aren't really that impressive. We know which one is better with the stat department, but we know which one has the slightly better abilities. What I'm trying to say is they're both crap, okay? I think what I can do to make this battle some sort interesting is to do a sort of arena where it's like the clock arena from the Hunger Games Catching Fire, but instead of the rocks as the spokes and the main area, it's just going to be a bunch of beautiful green grass. Yeah, so we're going to have the clock arena from the Hunger Games Catching Fire being the arena for today. But instead of the rocks, it's going to be grass. And I say that with the most utmost respect to that arena, because it's a great arena. I'm doing it there so then Ronak has some advantage against Elko. Because Elko has pretty much the ocean advantage. Yeah. If there's something I need to mention about that, that would have to be the underside of the spokes. That's going to be completely clear and not just a mountain of dirt. So then Elko can make his way underneath without having to go out of the water just to go on one other wedge, let's say. So with that, let's get into this. So, as the chamber doors open up, Elko takes the underground route, which is not underground, it is actually underwater, because I flooded the arena again. Ronak takes the normal entrance, because he's a normal beast. And with his poison-tipped claws, he runs all the way... is it runs or bounds? I don't know. Bounds to the centre of the arena with his toxic-tipped claws just poisoning, burning up the grass beneath him. Elko just slithers his way underground and sinks up behind Ronak and lifts one large tentacle out of the water. Well, one of his hands out of the water and slams it down on top of Ronak. Ronak is able to see it and turn around just in time to slash at it. At Elko's tentacles. Ronak was able to slash through one tentacle limb, but the other two have already crushed him down to the ground and wrapped him around tight. And Ronak watches in disbelief as that tentacle he sliced off just regrows and wraps around his neck, holding his head up. Elko gets his other tentacle out and picks up Ronak and just drags him into the into the floor whilst Ronak is trying to wriggle free, biting at the tentacles and using his horns to just hit Elko. But Ronak gets dragged into the watery depths below. Elko eventually lets go of Ronak, only for Ronak to turn around in the water and get greeted by Elko's ferocious face roaring at him. Ronak goes to slash at Elko's face, and slash he does. Elko draws back in pain and roars back and wraps his tentacles around Ronak's each of Ronak's hooves, and then brings him up to him and bites down on his back. With his teeth just ripping into the fur. Ronak lets out a roar of pain, letting loose any extra air he had. He's now in danger of drowning. And what Ronak does, as to try and save himself, he angles his head to where he just catches one of Elko's tentacles with his curved horn and just rips it out from his grip, where Ronak's able to get one of his hooves free, slash at Elko's wrists as a whole, causing the toxicity to go inside of him, where it's not strong, but it's enough to just pain Elko to release his grip. Ronak does the same with the Elko's other wrist, and using all his strength, with his fur weighing him down, Elko climbs up the centre part just to get out of the water. He does, drenched in water. He shakes himself free to get as much water off as he can. The toxicity on his claws have been washed off though, and every step he takes, nothing happens to the grass beneath him. Elko starts climbing out of the water, holding his breath, because he can't breathe above water. At least I don't think he can. I think he can, I'm not sure. I'm going to say he does because I believe in the book he was above water fighting Tom. So yeah, we'll say he could breathe above air. That's an ability I forgot to add. Sorry. The part that Elko climbed onto was actually a part of the burning grass, which was already toxicated by Ronak. So Elko just leaps forward to get out of the way and thuds down onto the ground. Ronak charges up towards Elko and jumps on top of his back and starts biting and scratching at the back of Elko. Elko, having Ronak exactly where he wants him, he rolls over into the water, taking Ronak with him, and bending his tentacles backwards to trap Ronak to his back. They sink down to the ocean floor, and Ronak, the water floor, and Elko just starts placing himself down onto the floor, suffocates, keeping Ronak underneath him on his back. So Elko's now just laying on the floor. Ronak can't get out, suffocating but also losing air. Ronak is struggling, just trying to get out, trying to fight free. But as he can feel himself getting weaker, Elko can feel that as well. And suddenly the struggling just stops. And with that, Elko, Lord of the Sea, has won this fight, whilst Ronak, the Toxic Terror, has lost. So, with that fight, Elko drowned Ronak. I took great pleasure into having a beast I don't like get killed by another beast I also don't like. So, if you think Ronak should have won, please leave in the comments below why you think that. However, if you ask me, Ronak is one of, if not the weakest beast in all the Beast Quests. So, honestly, it's not really a surprise to me that he lost. But yeah, Elko has won, and moving on to round 2 was, unfortunately, Ronak is out. And with that, that's all for this time. Join me in the next video where we'll have 2 more beasts fighting each other. And until then, that's all for this time. If you like what you saw, leave a like, leave a comment, don't forget to subscribe, press the little notification bell down in the corner below, and I'll see you next time.